Just ahead, follow an outlaw's path into a magnificent hideout.
Hello?
And then,
Am I going about the right speed? You're doing fine. It's like you know what you're doing.
it's on to Oregon's Willamette Valley, where we learn the real meaning of farm to table from one family of farmer who's doing it all.
Welcome to Small Town Big Deal. I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl. You know, for as long as humans have been around, they've been tempted to travel inside the earth, explore caves.
Like Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, with its 350 miles of formations, making it the longest cave system in the world.
Or Ruby Falls in Tennessee, home to the tallest and deepest underground waterfall open to the public in the U.S.
Well, we've traveled to the Cave State, or the Show Me State,
Or simply known as Missouri,
to one of their most spectacular caves.
one that is tied to an infamous outlaw.
We're talking about Meramac Caverns. It recently made USA Today's bucket list of the 60 things you have to do in America before you die. It's located about an hour's drive southwest of St. Louis. It's the largest commercial cave in the state. But before you start your underground adventure, there's a lot going on above ground. Exhilarating zip lines,
A mountainside wall to climb, gold to pan for, or take to the Merrimack River in one of their canoes, kayaks, inner tubes, or the riverboat.
the cave has been owned by the same family since the 1930s.
My grandfather always told my grandmother that someday he's going to own a big cave and take thousands of people through it. She thought he was crazy, and so did everybody else.
Turns out Grandpa was crazy like a fox. It's a big attraction with about 150,000 people touring the cave every year.
I've been blessed. I've been in caves all over the world. If you were going to make a cave, you couldn't make a cave any better than this one.
Inside, Les and his family have built a restaurant, a gift shop, and put up displays showing Meramac Cavern history.
Then you start your cave tour, and it only takes a few steps to make you so glad you came.
Ooh, yeah, what's ahead?
The first stop is called the Ballroom, and at one time, this place is so big they did use it for dances. Before air conditioning, it was the perfect hot summer venue for a dance with its nearly consistent 60-degree internal temperature.
In 1720, French explorer Philip Renault was taken to the cave by an Osage Indian guide who told him there were yellow veins running through it.
Those veins turned out not to be gold as he had hoped, but saltpeter, which was used to make gunpowder. So it became a saltpeter mine until the Civil War, when it was shut down by opposing forces. Legend says that among those fighting at the cave were Frank and Jesse James, who were just teenagers at the time.
That's how we believe they got knowledge of the cave. After the Civil War, there was a train robbery near Gastown, Missouri in 1874. They took a strong box containing about $12,000 in gold coins. The sheriff tracked them out of this cave. 3 days passed, so they decided to come in the cave. And they found the gang's horses, but no sign of the men who rode them in there. I had no idea where they went. Now, further in the cave, there was a pool of water. James' gang knew about that, so they went through that pool of water. The sheriff came in, they had no idea. They didn't find that until 1941,
Oh my God.
after it had a drought. And the water in that pool dropped down, and they found the strong boxes and found there was a whole lot more cave.
The further in we go, we become immersed in this underground world where we want to know more.
How big is the cave?
They have surveyed the cave back in May of 1995, and they surveyed 26.8 miles.
Wow. Are there bats there?
Yes, there's about 3,000 to 5,000 of them. They're about a quarter mile beyond where the tour goes.
We learned the rock formations are made from limestone in some parts of the cave and the rock-forming mineral dolomite in others.
Do you know how long it takes something to form?
This one here is probably 50,000 years old.
Oh my
But you're
God.
talking about a cubic inch per 100 years.
Wow, I wish I aged that slowly.
An area called Crystal Lake performs like an echo chamber.
Small town, big deal.
Complete with a light show.
So if this cave weren't cool enough already, Stephen shows us this. This is the third largest stalagmite in the world, only behind one in China and one in New Zealand.
Then we head to what they call the wine table room. It's named for this table with 3 legs, a formation created out of the mineral aragonite, and the only one in the world.
And there are also other aragonite shapes in the room, like these that look like lots of baked bread.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry. I'd like to have a little bit of it, yeah.
Yeah, you said this looks like grapes. So
Yeah.
we've got grapes, bread. They said that's a wine bottle. We just need cheese. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get some. We'll come back. Yeah. Rodney, watch your head.
Our last stop is the theater,
right,
with its dramatic 70-foot-tall rock curtain. Here, visitors are treated to a short film projected directly onto the rock.
We're already feeling grateful for special places like this to visit in the U.S. But as we watch the images of our military and our fellow countrymen and women, it reminds us to honor our veterans, respect each other, and appreciate the great country we live in.
And when we come back,
Gee, I could sit out here and run this the rest of the day.
there's no loafing around as we head to the breadbasket of Oregon and see how one family is taking farm to table to the next level.
Welcome back to Small Town, Big Deal.
Bread. Ah, it is the staff of life. There's a loaf in every home in America, and it's been around since, well, the beginning of time. But where exactly does it come from?
Well, it comes from wheat, and we found a very special multi-generational farmer here in Oregon who is looking at the past to plot his way for the future.
Deep in the heart of Oregon's fertile Willamette Valley, close to where the Oregon Trail came to its end, the pioneer spirit lives on today at Hunton's farm.
Total crops and varieties on the farm, 40.
40.
Yeah.
Tom Hunton grew up on his family farm that his parents, Everett and Ellen, started back in 1952. It's right on the outskirts of Junction City, Oregon.
We got the place for $100 an acre, which was a lot of money in those days.
Sure.
So we bought 297.5 acres at $100 an acre.
Along with Ellen, who at 97 still keeps the books, the Hunton family now farms 2,800 acres.
Tom, his wife Sue, son Jason, and grandson Owen work the land, raising everything from lentils to legumes, grass seed to amber waves of grain.
What is it you love about growing wheat?
Well, not because we get rich off of it. It's not a big money crop, but it's a beautiful crop, all of these different stages through the year, and people understand breaking bread together.
Breaking bread together is something the Huntons know a thing or two about.
That's the whole grain kernel right there.
That's because they not only grow the wheat, but they also have their own stone burr grist mill to make flour.
And on top of that, a bakery and country store for the whole grain artisan breads and specialty flours they produce.
And this is allowing people to come out and not only buy something that's from the farm, but to turn around and look and see the farming happening, ask questions about, is that a tractor? No, that's a combine. Oh!
Well, one person we know who's been harvesting crops his entire life knows the difference.
Tell me something, Jason. What's it mean to you to be the third-generation farmer here?
A lot of days it's please don't be the one to screw up. Grandpa worked hard, Grandma worked hard, Dad's worked hard, my aunt worked hard, and there's a whole lot of crew that depend on us to make good decisions.
Am I going about the right speed, or?
You're doing fine. It's like you know what you're doing.
Gee, I could sit out here and run this the rest of the day. I mean, I love farming. So we got the wheat harvested, and that was fun. Now let's go to the mill and make some flour.
In 2011, the Huntons opened the Camas Country Mill. They make flour the old-fashioned way, using a stone grist mill, a method that goes back centuries.
Grist mills are 2 stones. One is stationary, which is called the saddle stone, and the runner stone, in this case, is the lower one.
Okay.
So this is a new stone. This would be the runner stone.
So the raw grain goes in, where it's sandwiched between two massive stone discs, and whole grain flour comes out. So why are whole grains important? In a word, they're healthier.
If you look at this end of that kernel, that's the germ.
So it's actually oil inside there.
Yep.
Okay.
That's where the vitamins are. And then the whole kernel is encapsulated with bran, which is the yellow color. And then inside is snow white. That's the endosperm. So a commercial flour mill, that's the goal, is to get that and not the yellow.
Where all the
gold.
nutrients are.
Right.
Tom believes that by taking all the good stuff out to make refined flour, consumers are missing out on all the health benefits naturally found in whole grains.
In the balance that Mother Nature and the good Lord made it, it's pretty darn good food at that point. Why are we fooling with it?
Over 2 million pounds of whole grain flour is produced at the mill each year.
But the Huntons also grow one thing I had never heard of. It's a bunch grass crop called teff, and it produces the smallest grain in the world, 100 times smaller than a kernel of wheat.
There's some little tiny super small seeds right there.
In fact, its name is believed to originate from an Ethiopian word, tefa, which means lost, which I'm sure happens to a lot of those minute seeds.
In recent years, with the growing popularity of Ethiopian food, some American farmers are now growing it. Tom ships this gluten-free flour all over the country, but one customer who owns an Ethiopian restaurant is just down the road.
She uses it to make injera, a fermented flat bread that's a staple of Ethiopian food.
I was looking for it for a long time, and when I heard they had it here, and the quality is very good.
And wouldn't you know, Chef McLeet whipped up a fresh batch of injera and a whole bunch of Ethiopian dishes for us to try.
Often when you go to an Ethiopian restaurant, they'll all be sitting around a table with several pieces of the injera and just sharing it with their hands.
It's gotta be fun for you to grow it, mill it, sell it, and then buy it back
Consume
to
it.
eat it. Yeah.
And to go have dinner at a restaurant or something that, you know, sources from us. I mean, we're always the celebrities for as far as the proprietor
They
seems
think we
to
are
think.
anyway.
Yeah.
I love kind of playing with my food. I know you're not supposed to.
When we come back,
Look at you making bread.
Oh, what I'm doing. Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal.
So you actually got to help harvest some of the special
That
grain.
was fun.
Yeah, I could see you smiling in that cab from a mile away. Then we got to the mill and we saw it turned into flour even.
Now comes the delicious part. We get to go to the bakery and we actually get to consume some of it.
And it's good for us. It's whole grain.
So it's guilt-free.
Score.
So I admit it, I love bread. The smell of it baking, savoring the first bite,
well, you're in luck, because in addition to Tom and Sue Hutton's farm and grist mill, they decided to open their own bakery and country store. It's a direct-to-consumer approach that completes the circle of farm to table.
Every day, their bakers whip up a variety of breads, rolls, and pastries that come from the grains grown right outside the door.
And to be looking at the grain you're gonna bake with across the street from you. Not very many bakers get that, right?
As a baker, it's a unique situation, I think. There aren't many other places in the country that you get to have that connection. And then actually have the equipment to make a flour that's as high quality as I think our flour is.
You know what we call that? That's a big deal.
Take the top and stretch it a little bit and pull it back over itself.
Dylan gave us a quick lesson in making, well, shaping really, one of their most popular breads, a country loaf.
Look at you making bread.
Yeah.
This is kind of like when I'm using Play-Doh with my grandkids.
Fold it over itself, and then you just go along this seam, kind of squeeze it shut. And there, that's a loaf of bread.
Mine's a little lopsided. It's a little thick in the middle. No comment.
I wasn't going to say a word.
Oh, smart man.
This will end up rising for about 45 minutes, and then we'll bake it.
Okay. Yeah. What's it like to be able to see people enjoy what you make?
For me, it reminds you that this is food, and food makes people happy, and that's really gratifying, I think.
You know, sometimes food makes me a little too happy.
While our bread is resting and getting ready for baking, Sue walked us just a few yards away to see their latest project with an eye to the past.
Well, welcome to the Lower Fern Ridge Schoolhouse. All right.
Built in 1888, this one-room schoolhouse was home to generations of Willamette Valley children for 6 decades. But in 2015, this local landmark was destined for the scrap heap.
My husband is always on Craigslist, and all of a sudden he noticed there was a schoolhouse that was either going to be torn down or needed to be moved.
So being the historical preservationists they are, the Huntons purchased and moved the structure across fields and creek to its current home right next to the bakery.
It was epic. To put it mildly, it was epic. In a day and a half, he moved the schoolhouse to this site here.
With the help of the community and a grant from the state, the Huntons restored the schoolhouse, but intentionally left the classroom pretty much intact.
And I see a lot of names carved on the wood. And
On the back wall, there's probably 25 names at least that date back to 1900. Kids are kids. Doesn't matter what generation, they're going to write on the walls. Louis Bailey left May 1936.
It turns out that wasn't the only message young Lou Bailey left behind.
My husband found this little note that Lou Bailey had placed in 1936 on the last day of school. It says, "This note belongs to Louis Bailey, age 14, when I left this school. When I left this school, I didn't want to go to high school, and I still don't."
Well, nearly 80 years after he wrote that note, Lou, who was the last surviving student of the school, got the original note back. He passed away a year later.
As a retired school teacher, Sue is right at home welcoming today's students who get a taste of living history when they visit the schoolhouse and mill.
This piece here is our country loaf, very soft and moist. Take a taste. And I didn't bring butter because we want you to taste the grain.
Okay, so sometimes when we taste food on the show, we're sometimes just polite. I didn't have to be polite. This bread was amazing. Oh, this bread is really good.
yeah, even without butter.
Okay.
The Camas country brand that the Huntons have created has developed a following among the foodie community from Seattle to Los Angeles and all the way to New York.
But that kind of widespread success hasn't stopped Tom and Sue from their mission of keeping things local. They regularly donate their products to food banks and school districts throughout the Willamette Valley.
Wherever we can put some of our labor and our product for the good of the community and their health is what we would like to see. We're wanting to make this world a better place and a healthier place.
And if a retired school teacher and a farmer can help kids and other people connect with that, to us that's pretty meaningful work.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Small Town Big Deal. You know the Huntons have really raised the bar on farm to table.
Oh, growing the grains, turning it into flour, and turning the flour into delicious bread. Absolutely. Now, Meramac Caverns was really special for Rodney because here's something we hadn't revealed. He's wanted to go there since he was a little boy.
Oh yeah, I mean, every barn seemed to have a sign about Meramac Caverns, and we didn't live that far, but you know, you didn't go anywhere when we were little kids back then. You know?
You just visited relatives on vacation. But was it worth the wait?
It really was. A lot of fun.
You should go.
I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl.
Join us again next week when once again we celebrate the great stories from across America.
Baking is a little scary, you know, it's kind of an art form, so hopefully there'll be more of it.
Because we're going to see Jan doing it.
Ooh! He probably won't eat it, though.
I've had some of your cooking.
Come on.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's good.
He always says it's good. I don't know.
So all my life I've wanted to go to Merrimack Caverns. I've been close to it many times and heard of it since I was a little kid. Finally make it. Let me tell you, it was worth the wait.